John walked home slowly, the city streets unusually quiet for a Friday night. Neon lights flickered on the damp pavement, reflecting in shallow puddles from an earlier rain. The hum of distant traffic was the only sound, until a faint, strange noise caught his attention. It was low, almost a whimper, coming from a narrow alley between two abandoned buildings. Curiosity mixed with unease as John hesitated at the alley's entrance. The shadows seemed deeper than normal, and a faint, cold breeze carried a metallic scent. Something alive was there, he was sure. Swallowing his fear, he stepped closer. That was when he saw it, a small figure hunched over and trembling, glowing faintly under the alley lights. It was not human. Its skin shimmered with silver-blue tones, smooth and almost translucent. Its eyes, large and luminous, looked directly at him, filled with pain and fear. John froze. The alien did not move aggressively. It was weak, struggling to breathe. John felt an unexpected surge of empathy. He knelt beside the creature. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked softly, unsure if it could understand him. Surprisingly, it responded, not with words, but through a soft image in his mind. He saw flashes of stars, strange landscapes, and a sense of deep danger. A silent plea came with it. "Help me." John glanced around. The alley was empty. No one could see him, and he had no idea what he was getting into, but he acted on instinct. He carefully lifted the alien into his arms, feeling its fragile weight. The creature made a faint, almost musical sound, perhaps a sigh of relief. He carried it back to his small apartment, setting it gently on his couch. "I don't know if this will help," John said, rummaging through his kitchen for water. He poured some into a glass and offered it, and the alien managed to sip it, though its movements were clumsy. Its breathing became steadier, the glow from its skin pulsing softly like a heartbeat. John fetched a first aid kit from his bathroom, unsure what to do with an alien body. There were no cuts or wounds, but the creature seemed weak, as if it had been injured internally. Using bandages and cloths, he tried to keep it warm and comfortable. All the while, he spoke gently, telling the alien that everything would be okay. He didn't know if it understood his words, but it seemed to respond to his presence. Hours passed. The city outside his window hummed quietly, but inside time felt suspended. John learned to watch its breathing, noticing tiny shifts in the pulsing of the glowing skin. At some point, the alien communicated again, sending images that filled his mind with unfamiliar landscapes, high towers, and strange beings. Despite the alien nature, he felt a bond forming, a fragile trust. John wondered how it had ended up in that alley. It clearly did not belong on Earth. He thought about calling someone, police, government, scientists, but the idea frightened him. Who would believe him? And what would they do to a creature like this? For now, it was safer to care for it alone. By morning, the alien's strength had improved slightly. Its glow had become steadier, and it moved with more control. John offered it food, unsure what it might need. It accepted, consuming small portions of what he had, fruits, water, even plain bread. Each act of nourishment seemed to restore not just its body, but some unspoken connection between them. At one point, the alien did something unexpected. It touched John's hand lightly, and a warm sensation spread through him. Then in his mind came a single thought: "Thank you." It was simple but powerful, filling him with a mix of relief and awe. He realized then that this encounter was not random. Something larger, something beyond his understanding, was beginning. John sat back, exhausted but alert. He watched the alien resting on his couch, its breathing calm, its glow soft and steady. He felt a strange combination of fear, excitement, and responsibility. One act of compassion had brought this being into his life, and he had no idea where it would lead. Outside, the city continued its quiet rhythm. But for John, nothing would ever be the same. The night had brought an alien life into his hands, and in doing so, had changed the course of his ordinary existence forever. He could only hope that his choices in the coming hours and days would honor the trust that fragile creature had placed in him. The next morning, John was jolted awake by a deep, echoing sound outside his apartment. It was unlike anything he had ever heard, more like a low hum combined with a distant rumble vibrating through the floor. His heart raced as he rushed to the window. What he saw made him freeze. The quiet street below was no longer ordinary. Sleek metallic figures taller than any human he had ever seen were standing in perfect formation. Their bodies gleamed under the morning sun, and they moved with an elegance and precision that was almost unnatural. Each carried devices he couldn't recognize, glowing faintly with energy that made the air shimmer. John's first thought was to panic. Were they here to harm him, or was this some elaborate prank? But as he watched, the tallest among them stepped forward. Its presence was commanding yet calm. Through a strange telepathic connection, the same way the alien in his apartment had communicated, John heard a clear thought. Do not fear. We are not here to harm. Swallowing his fear, John opened the door slowly. The alien surrounded his building, leaving a narrow path for him to step outside. Their leader, the tallest and most imposing figure, came closer. Its silver-blue skin shimmered in the sunlight, similar to the alien John had saved. Its eyes glowed gently, full of intelligence and focus. You helped one of ours, the leader projected into John's mind. You saved a scout from death. Your actions have reached the Zrithian Council. We come in respect and gratitude. John's mouth went dry. Zrithian Council? He asked aloud, though he knew they would hear him regardless. Yes, came the thought. We are an alliance of worlds. The scout you aided is a member of our reconnaissance forces. Your courage has not gone unnoticed. John's mind spun. This was no dream. He had saved an alien, and now an army, or at least a contingent of highly trained soldiers, was here at his door. He didn't know whether to be proud, terrified, or completely overwhelmed. We seek your assistance, the leader continued, its voice calm yet urgent. A threat has targeted your planet. You, a human, have qualities we admire: creativity, adaptability, courage. We wish to work with you to protect your world. John shook his head in disbelief. Why me? I'm just a regular person. It is because you are just a regular person, the alien replied. Your actions are not guided by fear or ambition. You acted out of compassion. This is a rare quality even among our kind. John felt a strange mix of pride and anxiety. He had only done what he felt was right, yet now the fate of Earth seemed tied to him. The leader gestured, and a shimmering field appeared around them. Within it, a kind of portable holographic display showed images of the scout being attacked. Spaceships, strange weapons, and other alien creatures John could barely comprehend. These mercenaries are dangerous, the leader said. They hunt freely across systems, and they have targeted your planet for resources and study. If they succeed, it could endanger many lives. We ask for your guidance in understanding the human world and your cooperation to prepare defenses. John swallowed hard. This was bigger than anything he had imagined. But he remembered the scout, lying weak and dying in the alley. He had saved it, and now he could not turn away. Okay, I'll help, he said, his voice trembling slightly. The leader seemed to nod. You will not be alone. Our forces will remain with you. You will learn, and together, we will find a way to protect your world. John glanced at his apartment, where the scout rested quietly on the couch. It had regained some strength, but still needed care. He realized that everything had changed in a single night. His life, once ordinary, was now intertwined with beings from other worlds. Over the next few hours, the Zrithians, he had learned that was the name of their species, set up a temporary command area in his courtyard. Their technology was unlike anything John had seen: floating panels, glowing energy fields, and devices that seemed to respond to thought rather than touch. They communicated with him constantly, sharing knowledge about their alliance, their mission, and the threats they faced. Despite the awe and fear, John began to notice something remarkable. The aliens treated him as an equal, not as a human inferior. They respected his opinions, listened to his ideas, and seemed genuinely interested in his perspective. The scout he had saved moved among them freely, its presence calm and reassuring. By midday, John felt a strange sense of purpose. He had always lived a simple, ordinary life, but now he was standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. He would learn, he would act, and he would play a role in something that stretched far beyond Earth. As the sun rose higher, casting long shadows across the city, John realized that the world he knew had changed forever. The quiet man who had walked home through neon-lit streets was now a participant in an interstellar alliance, and the first step had begun in the alley where he had chosen to help a dying alien. For the first time, John understood that even a single act of kindness could echo across galaxies, bringing forces he never imagined to his doorstep. John sat in the courtyard, Still feeling overwhelmed by everything that had happened, the Zrithians had set up a sort of mobile command center around his building, with glowing panels and devices that seemed to float in mid-air. Their scout, the same one he had saved, now moved freely among the soldiers, its glow steady and calm. John watched in awe, realizing how much advanced technology and organization these aliens possessed. The leader, tall and silver blue like the scout, approached him again. "We will explain why we are here and why your help is needed," it said through the telepathic link. John nodded, trying to focus despite the whirlwind of thoughts in his mind. The alien projected images directly into John's mind. He saw the scout being attacked in the alley, then ships moving silently through space, firing strange beams and creatures unlike anything he had ever imagined. John understood at once that the danger was real. The rogue mercenaries who had wounded the scout were traveling across galaxies, attacking worlds, and now Earth was their next target. "These hunters are dangerous and unpredictable," the leader explained. "They do not follow codes of honor or rules. They seek resources and life forms to exploit. Your planet is rich in resources and unique in life forms, making it valuable to them." John felt a chill. He had never thought of Earth in that way, just another home filled with people going about their lives. And now it was in danger from creatures from beyond the stars. "Why me?" he asked aloud, though the aliens would hear his thoughts anyway. "Because you acted without hesitation," the leader replied. "You saved the scout without thinking of reward or personal safety. Many humans might have run. Many humans might have acted out of fear. You acted out of compassion. That quality is rare even among the Zrithians." John took a deep breath. The weight of their words sank in. His ordinary life had been transformed overnight. He wasn't just a man in a city anymore. He was a representative of humanity in a situation that could decide the safety of the entire planet. "We wish to work with you because humans have qualities our species admires," the leader continued. "Courage, adaptability, and creativity are powerful tools. We will provide you with knowledge and resources, but your understanding of human behavior will guide our actions here on Earth." John listened carefully as the Zrithians showed him holographic maps of the city, the surrounding regions and patterns of human activity. They explained how they could assist him in preparing defenses, tracking unusual movements, and understanding potential threats. He realized that while their technology was far beyond human capabilities, his understanding of people, cities, and patterns of life on Earth would be essential. Over the next few hours, the aliens demonstrated their tools. They showed shields that could block powerful energy weapons, devices that could detect movement across long distances, and communication systems that worked without any wires or satellites. John was amazed, but he also felt the pressure of responsibility. He would need to learn quickly if they were going to protect Earth. The scout he had saved moved closer, sitting near John as if offering silent support. Though it could not speak in human language, he felt a connection. An unspoken bond formed through trust and care. It was a reminder that what had begun as a single act of kindness had now grown into something much larger. "There is little time," the leader said. "The mercenaries are planning their approach. They observe quietly but strike decisively. Earth's defenses must be prepared, and we must act with strategy, not only strength." John's mind raced. He thought of cities filled with people, unaware of the danger approaching from the stars. He imagined the panic that would erupt if these mercenaries arrived without warning. He understood that planning, intelligence, and human ingenuity could be as important as the Zrithians' technology. "Your role is not only to assist us," the leader said. "It is also to help us understand the human spirit. The courage of your kind can influence events in ways our forces cannot predict. You will guide us in the ways humans think, act, and survive under pressure." John nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and determination. He had never been a hero. He had never thought himself capable of leading or teaching advanced alien forces. But the life of his planet and perhaps countless others now depended on him. By evening he was exhausted but resolute. The Zrithians had explained the threat clearly, and John had begun to understand his own importance in the coming conflict. He realized that Earth had potential to stand alongside other worlds, not just through weapons or technology, but through the very qualities that defined humanity: courage, creativity, and compassion. As night fell, John looked at the scout resting nearby. Its glow seemed brighter, more confident, and he felt a sense of connection that went beyond words. Whatever came next, he knew he could not turn away. His life had changed forever, and the first step toward defending Earth had already begun with a single act of kindness in a quiet alley. The next morning, John woke up to a soft hum filling his apartment. The scout he had saved was already moving among the Zrithians, who had set up an organized training area in the courtyard. Panels of glowing light floated in the air, projecting holographic maps and alien symbols. John rubbed his eyes, realizing he was about to begin a lesson unlike anything he had ever imagined. The leader approached him. "Today you begin your training. You must learn quickly. Knowledge and strategy are as important as courage. Humans have qualities that can surprise even the most experienced aliens, but you must understand how to use them effectively." John nodded, though the nerves in his stomach twisted tightly. He had never handled advanced alien technology before, and now he was expected to act as part of a defense team for Earth. Yet he remembered the scout's faint glow, the silent trust it had placed in him. That thought gave him courage. The first lesson was simple yet extraordinary. The Zrithians introduced him to adaptive armor, a suit designed to fit human physiology while providing protection against energy-based weapons. The suit fit snugly and responded to his movements almost as if it were alive. When he moved, it adjusted automatically, enhancing his speed and reflexes without limiting his agility. John could hardly believe how light it felt, yet how strong it seemed. "This armor will allow you to act safely in combat situations," the leader explained. "But strength alone is not enough. You must learn tactics, observation, and teamwork." The Zrithians guided John through simulations projected in the courtyard. Holographic enemies appeared, moving unpredictably across the terrain. The simulations tested his decision-making under pressure, forcing him to react quickly. At first, John struggled, making mistakes and feeling frustrated. But each time, the scout would approach, glowing softly as if offering reassurance. John began to see patterns, understanding that human intuition, quick thinking, adaptability, and creativity could turn the tide even against technologically superior opponents. Next, they taught him communication methods. The Zrithians could coordinate silently through thought, but John needed a system to convey complex information to humans and aliens alike. He learned to use a combination of gestures, visual signals, and mental links, a method that allowed instant understanding without words. By mid-afternoon, John was able to lead small groups in simulated operations, his confidence growing with every success. "Do not rely on power alone," the leader advised. "Your creativity is your strength. Humans can act in ways other species cannot predict. Observe, plan, and adapt." John spent hours practicing moving between holographic scenarios, coordinating with the scout, and understanding the alien technology. Each exercise pushed him further, but he began to feel a deep sense of purpose. He realized that humans were not weak. They were unpredictable, resilient, and resourceful. His mistakes became lessons, and his successes became proof that even one ordinary human could make a difference when guided properly. By late afternoon, the Zrithians introduced more advanced lessons. They demonstrated energy shields, devices that could block or redirect attacks, and explained their power sources and limitations. John learned to anticipate attacks, use the terrain to his advantage, and understand enemy psychology, even if the enemy was alien. Every exercise strengthened his understanding that courage, observation, and quick thinking could overcome raw power. During a break, John looked at the scout resting nearby. Its glow pulsed in a calm rhythm, and John felt a silent connection that reminded him why he was doing this. The alien had trusted him when it was weak and vulnerable. Now he was learning to protect not only it, but the entire planet it had come to know. As evening approached, the leader gathered John and several Zrithians together. "You have learned much today," it said, "but the real test will not be simulations. You will face unpredictability, challenges beyond training. Remember what you have learned. Courage, creativity, and observation are your greatest tools. Strength alone will not prevail." John nodded, exhaustion settling in his body, but he felt something stronger than fatigue. He felt readiness. For the first time, he understood that humans, though physically weaker than many species, possessed qualities that could change the outcome of battles. Intelligence, ingenuity, and the ability to act with heart. Air weapons no machine could replicate. That night, as John returned to his apartment, he sat quietly beside the scout. The alien blinked slowly, its glow dimming as if tired. John reached out, gently placing a hand near it. We're ready, he thought. We'll face whatever comes next. For the first time since the encounter in the alley, John did not feel helpless. He felt part of something larger, connected to forces he had never imagined. He realized that training was only the beginning. The real challenge lay ahead, the moment when theory and preparation would meet reality. And he was determined to meet it, not as a lone human, but as a link between Earth and the stars. The next day, John woke with a sense of urgency. The Scythians were already moving in the courtyard, adjusting holographic maps and projecting information about unusual signals near Earth. The scout he had saved hovered close to him, glowing faintly, as if sharing the same alertness that rippled through the alien ranks. The leader approached John. We have identified the threat, it said telepathically. The hunters who attacked your scout are moving closer to your planet. Their objective is to gather resources and capture life forms. We must act before they reach major population centers. John listened intently. He realized the danger was far greater than he had imagined. The mercenaries were not just opportunistic, they were organized and relentless. Earth had been under observation for some time, and now the Scythians had brought their knowledge to him so humanity could prepare. How do we stop them? John asked. The leader's glow pulsed as it considered his question. Force alone will not suffice, it replied. The mercenaries are too strong. We must use strategy, intelligence, and human unpredictability. Your world's cities, resources, and ordinary humans are unknown to them. We can use this to our advantage. John nodded slowly. He thought of the city streets, the alleys, and crowded areas. Humans were clever, inventive, and capable of improvisation. That unpredictability could be a weapon. He shared ideas aloud, gesturing to the maps. If we use traps, distractions, and misdirection, we can slow them down. They expect a straight fight, but we can make them chase illusions. The leader seemed intrigued. You understand adaptability. That is rare. Humans can act in ways many species cannot predict. Your insight will guide our efforts here. Over the next several hours, John worked with the Scythians to plan their first counteraction. They combined alien technology with human ingenuity, projecting holographic simulations of the city, while marking potential areas of interference, shields, and traps. The scout assisted, moving between panels and offering subtle guidance through thoughts and images. John realized that even small details could be important. Traffic patterns, building layouts, and human behavior, all could be used strategically. He suggested ways to guide mercenaries into areas where Scythian defenses could be most effective, without risking civilians. The aliens listened closely, respecting his judgment and integrating his ideas with their advanced tactics. As evening approached, John and the scout walked through the city streets to observe firsthand. The scout's glow was soft, not drawing attention, but John felt its reassurance. He imagined how a mercenary might move, how ordinary people could unknowingly create opportunities or obstacles. Every corner, alley, and open space became a piece of the larger plan. Back at the courtyard, they tested their strategies with more simulations. John led teams through scenarios where mercenaries attempted attacks, adjusting tactics in real time. Each attempt taught lessons. Sometimes the simulations failed, showing weaknesses in their plans, but each failure became an opportunity to improve. The scout observed silently, occasionally projecting encouragement, and John felt the connection between them strengthen. By nightfall, John and the Scythians had developed a coordinated plan. The mercenaries would not find Earth an easy target. They would be met with confusion, resistance, and unpredictability. The Scythians had advanced shields, weapons, and tracking systems, but John's input ensured that human unpredictability became a vital part of the defense. The leader approached John again. You have done well, it said. Your understanding of your world, combined with courage and insight, has allowed us to prepare more effectively. The mercenaries will not expect humans to act strategically, and this is our advantage. John felt a mixture of pride and anxiety. Pride that he had contributed, and anxiety because the threat was real and dangerous. He looked at the scout resting nearby. Its glow pulsed softly, and he understood that it trusted him to lead, plan, and act. That trust, simple yet profound, reminded him why he had started this journey in the alley. For the first time, John truly grasped the magnitude of what he was part of. This was no longer a single act of kindness or a moment of bravery. It was a responsibility that extended to the entire planet. Humans, he realized, had potential far beyond what they themselves often imagined. Compassion, intelligence, and courage were not just virtues. They were tools that could influence the fate of worlds. That night, as John returned to his apartment, he felt determination stronger than fear. The plan was ready, but reality could be unpredictable. Still, he trusted in his knowledge, his instincts, and the bond he shared with the scout and the Zrithians. The mercenaries were approaching, and soon every lesson, every preparation, and every moment of courage would be put to the test. John looked out over the city from his window, the lights sparkling in the darkness. He knew the coming days would be dangerous, but he also knew that he was not alone. Humanity, unpredictable and resilient, now had a voice in interstellar strategy. And that voice, his voice, would help protect the world he called home. The morning air was crisp and sharp as John followed the scout and the Zrithian soldiers through the outskirts of the city. Today was no longer practice. Today they would put their planning and training into action. John's heart pounded in his chest, but he focused on the task ahead. The city's safety and the trust of the scout rested on his decisions. The Zrithians moved in silent formation, their movements precise and controlled. John, wearing the adaptive armor, felt both protected and strangely powerful. It adjusted to his every motion, allowing him to move quickly and quietly. The scout hovered near him, its soft glow like a beacon of calm reassurance. Their target was a group of mercenaries detected on the outskirts, preparing for an advance toward a densely populated area. The simulations and maps they had studied the previous day guided them, but John knew real action would be different. Unpredictable, dangerous. The lessons were crucial, but reality would test them in ways nothing could simulate. The leader spoke directly into John's mind. Remember your strengths. Observation, quick thinking, creativity. These are weapons as powerful as any energy shield or weapon we carry. John nodded, taking a deep breath. He adjusted the energy shield projected by the armor and scanned the terrain. The mercenaries were moving fast, but their patterns were predictable only if observed closely. John guided the Zrithians into positions, pointing out vantage points, choke points, and areas to set diversions. They listened without question, responding instantly to his suggestions. The first encounter came faster than expected. The mercenaries advanced through a narrow valley, their ships hovering low, emitting a faint hum. John's pulse quickened. Using the terrain, he signaled the Zrithians to activate traps and decoys. Holographic projections of the city created illusions of movement and obstacles, confusing the mercenaries' sensors. Energy barriers blocked predictable pathways, forcing them to divert into areas carefully prepared by John and the Zrithians. John felt the thrill of strategy in action. Every decision, every gesture shifted the battle. The mercenaries, strong and relentless, were unprepared for the unpredictable. They adjusted slowly, while John and the Zrithians anticipated each move, responding with coordinated precision. The scout hovered nearby, projecting advice through images and feelings that John intuitively understood. Despite the alien technology, John's human ingenuity was the edge they needed. He noticed a pattern in the mercenaries' approach, slight delays and repeated scanning behavior, and exploited it. Directing the Zrithians, he set up energy barriers and distractions in advance, guiding the enemy into traps. Each successful maneuver strengthened his confidence and highlighted the unique advantage humans had: unpredictability, combined with quick thinking. Hours passed in what felt like minutes. The battle was tense but controlled. The mercenaries attempted to regroup, but John's strategy disrupted their cohesion. By combining human intuition with Zrithian technology, they forced the enemy to retreat temporarily, leaving them disoriented and off balance. John realized the importance of teamwork. The scout, the Zrithians, and he himself were a unified force, blending strengths and compensating for weaknesses. At one point, John had to make a split-second decision. A small group of mercenaries was trying to flank the Zrithians from behind. Using his knowledge of human behavior and city layouts, he led the squad through narrow terrain, creating false paths and signals. The mercenaries fell into the diversion, and the Zrithians neutralized them without unnecessary conflict. John's pulse raced, but a surge of satisfaction followed. He had contributed decisively. By late afternoon, the immediate threat had been pushed back. The mercenaries had not been defeated entirely. but their advance had been stopped, giving Earth time to strengthen defenses and prepare for further encounters. John's body was exhausted, yet his mind was alert and alive. He had witnessed firsthand that courage, intelligence, and adaptability could complement advanced technology in ways that no simulation could show. The leader approached John afterward. "You have performed well. You understood the terrain, anticipated the enemy, and made decisions that saved lives. Humans have a potential that is rarely recognized in interstellar conflicts. Your actions today are proof." John felt a mix of relief and pride. He had started as an ordinary man, frightened in an alley, unsure if he could help even one alien life. Now he had helped coordinate an interstellar defense, proving that human ingenuity and courage could influence events across galaxies. That night, as John returned to his apartment, the scout settled beside him, glowing softly. John reached out, gently placing a hand near its shimmering skin. "We did it," he thought. And in that quiet moment he realized that the bond formed in the alley had grown into something larger than himself, an alliance between humans and beings from beyond the stars. He looked out over the city, lights twinkling like distant stars, and understood the truth of the leader's words. Humans, ordinary as they seemed, were capable of extraordinary things. Their unpredictability, courage, and creativity were weapons no machine could replicate. And now, John had a role in showing the galaxy just how powerful humanity could be when guided by heart and mind together. The night was quiet over the city, but John knew it was only a fragile calm. The mercenaries were still out there, regrouping and planning their next move. He stood on the rooftop with the scout hovering beside him, the glow of its skin lighting the darkness. The Zrithians had prepared defenses, energy shields, and rapid response teams, but John understood that the true test would be in anticipation, strategy, and human unpredictability. The leader approached him silently, its presence commanding yet calm. "This is the moment," it said telepathically. "Your choices will matter more than any weapon we have. The human's courage and ingenuity will decide the outcome of this encounter." John nodded, feeling both weight and determination. He had learned so much in the past days, about the aliens, their technology, and most importantly about his own potential. He realized that ordinary people could become extraordinary when they acted with purpose, creativity, and courage. As the first mercenary ships appeared on the horizon, John quickly assessed the situation. They moved with speed, but the illusions, diversions, and traps set in earlier simulations had already created confusion. Holographic images of city streets projected false paths, energy barriers blocked expected routes, and carefully calculated ambush points waited. John took a deep breath. Now is the time, he thought. He signaled the Zrithians and coordinated with them seamlessly, giving orders and adjusting positions as new movements appeared. The scout followed him closely, providing telepathic updates and advice, its calm presence bolstering John's confidence. The mercenaries advanced into the trap. At first they were cautious, analyzing the surroundings. Then they encountered the first energy barrier, followed by holographic projections of city structures that didn't exist. Confused, they diverted into the paths John had predicted, moving exactly where the Zrithians could control the engagement. John's mind raced as he adapted to each unexpected shift. One small group tried to flank the defenses from an alley, but John anticipated it. He guided a Zrithian squad silently through side streets, cutting them off and forcing the mercenaries back into the main area. Every move was precise, a combination of human intuition and alien technology. Hours passed in tense coordination. The city remained calm. Civilians were safe because of careful planning. John marveled at the efficiency of the Zrithians, but he also saw how his human input changed the outcome. Their technology alone could not have predicted the smallest unpredictable behaviors. His ability to think creatively, improvise quickly, and observe patterns that others missed gave them the advantage. Finally, the mercenaries began to retreat. Their formation was broken, their advance halted, and confusion ruled their ranks. John signaled the Zrithians to maintain pressure but not pursue recklessly. The goal had been achieved. Earth was safe, at least for now. The mercenaries would think twice before returning, knowing that this planet's defenders were clever, adaptable, and united. The leader approached John after the battle, its presence calm yet filled with silent pride. "You have succeeded where many thought humans would fail. Your courage, insight, and strategy were essential. Today you proved that humans can hold their own in interstellar affairs. John felt a swell of emotion he could not fully describe. From a quiet alley to saving a single scout, to leading a defense against an intergalactic threat, his life had transformed completely. The scout hovered near him, its glow warm and steady as if sharing the triumph. John reached out and touched it lightly, feeling a connection that words could not express. The future is now open to your kind, the leader continued. The Zrithian Alliance recognizes your planet's potential. Humans have qualities that can shape galaxies: compassion, courage, and creativity. We hope to learn more from you, as you have shown us the power of your kind. John looked around at the city lights, glowing softly in the night. He thought of ordinary people, unaware of the danger that had passed and of how small acts of kindness could ripple across worlds. One evening, one decision to save a wounded scout had set events into motion that no one could have predicted. For the first time, he truly understood the story the scout had silently shared with him in the alley. This planet and its people were important, not because of power or technology, but because of the human spirit, the courage to act, the creativity to adapt, and the compassion to help others. As dawn approached, the mercenaries were gone, leaving the city safe. The Zrithians prepared to depart, but the scout remained by John's side, a silent promise of continued connection. The leader addressed him one last time. You have shown the strength of your kind. Protect your world, continue to grow, and humanity may one day join the larger community of galaxies. John nodded, feeling both exhaustion and hope. He had begun as an ordinary man, walking through a neon-lit alley on a quiet night. Now he was a bridge between worlds, a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness could lead to extraordinary consequences. He looked at the scout, its glow fading gently as it prepared to return to the Zrithian ranks. Thank you, he thought silently, and in that moment, he knew that this was only the beginning. Humanity had a place in the stars, and he had helped show them the way. The city stretched below him, calm and unaware, as the first light of morning crept over the horizon. John smiled, feeling a quiet pride. He had learned that courage, creativity, and compassion could protect not just a friend but an entire world. And from a single act in a dark alley, he had begun a journey that would forever change the fate of Earth.